My video for July 16th, 2019 is entitled, What GMO Poisons Are We Eating? And it's video number 3148. Especially since my last open heart surgery, I have become more aware of the foods I consume. Many of the brands I grew up with were staples in my diet. I'm not alone. One company stands out as the worst producer of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, that find their way into our food supply. The list is mind-boggling. I've been putting off recording this for some time now, but I think it's important that people know what we are eating. Monsanto is perhaps the leading producer of GMO-laced food products that have been around all my life. But did you know that Bayer now owns Monsanto? Yes, Bayer Aspirin, that German company. I wish I could say that I have eliminated all products that are affected, but that's simply not true. I do my best, but so often the price differential is simply too great to justify purchasing only certified organic products. We need to be aware, and hopefully these corporate giants will be forced to stop messing with our food. When I post this video, I will include a couple links that provide more information, including lists of affected products. Indeed, I've had this on the back burner, so to speak, for nearly a week now, and I keep creating other articles or other stories instead, other videos. And it troubles me, quite honestly, when I look at some of the brand names. I mean, I worked for Procter & Gamble, and they're one of the companies on the list. And I'm sure many of these big companies are doing something to get over all of the bad publicity GMOs have had over the past several years. Of course, for Monsanto to be bought out by a German company, Bayer Aspirin, the Bayer company, was a step to try to downplay, because Roundup, of course, was one of Monsanto's biggest things, and there are numerous lawsuits against Monsanto for people that have become sick, and it's traceable to some of the things that are in our food. And Roundup affects even not just our food, but even the clothes that we wear in many cases. I don't know how that can be cured by washing the clothes, but in any case, we live on a planet that has become chemically polluted, and it's toxic. I mean, we live on a toxic planet. And yes, I think it's important. It's important for me to try my best to eat as healthy a diet as possible. Now, I have weaknesses. I love ice cream, and I cannot afford ice cream that costs as much for a pint as what I pay for a half a gallon. And yeah, there aren't very many half-gallon ice cream products left. You know, Publix brand, which is the ice cream that I normally eat, is still a half gallon, but so many of them shrunk and shrunk again. So some of them are, you know, a quart and a half instead of 2 quarts. I mean, they did a 2-step shrinkage. Again, there's a whole lot of effort being made on the part of some of these big corporations like Procter & Gamble to rectify the situation and start producing food that people can be more confident in eating. But just think that I'm going to read some of the list. Aunt Jemima, Betty Crocker, Lay's potato chips, Healthy Choice. Now, who would think that Healthy Choice is a brand that has genetically modified food? But it is. Kellogg's, Pepperidge Farm, Stouffer's, Aurora Foods, Best Food, Bisquick, Cadbury, Campbell's, Carnation, Chef Boyardee, Coca-Cola, Duncan Hines, Famous Amos, Frito-Lay, General Mills, Green Giant, Wholesome, Hormel, Hungry Jack, Hunt. And I mean, I'm not even halfway through the list. That's not even half of the list yet. I mean, this is the list that I made, both sides of the paper. Okay? Both sides of the paper. And there are other websites that contain lists. Many of this are repeat. Some of them don't have all of the ones that are on this list. The list, the page that I have is like 4 years old, that the website that somebody sent me, that I was planning on making a video on, but I keep putting it off and putting it off because there's so many things, so many issues that we as humans have to deal with. And yeah, I'm gonna bring that into it, even though it's different. Trump, I mean, there are still people that are sending me things that say Trump is doing a job of with all these sealed indictments and everything, that he's bringing down the cabal. And I'd like to believe that. I'd like to believe that good things are happening. I'd like to believe that that our DNA is actually being reactivated and turned on so that we can overcome all of the toxic environmental challenges that we have in the air we breathe and the water that we bathe in, even if we choose not to drink it. I mean, I purchase reverse osmosis water. I used to have a reverse osmosis system in my house, but of course they stole my house, so I don't have that anymore. But in any case, I want to be as healthy as I can. I'm getting older. I still have challenges with my numb feet and issues along that line. I still occasionally have bouts with dizziness. It's not often, but it does occasionally happen. And when it does, it's scary, because that's how I had my stroke. It started out as a dizziness, and I collapsed. And well, I've told that story. I'm not going to rehash it again here, but I want to eat as healthy a diet as possible, but it's just simply not affordable when some of the better foods cost 2, 3, 4 times more than the brands that we're used to. I mean, and most of our major brands in the US and probably Europe too, although I think especially Russia doesn't want to have anything to do with genetically modified stuff. And I think they're probably one of the best countries on earth to buy non-genetically modified food. But of course, there's shipping charges when they're shipped all over the world. And there are other places, of course, even in the United States and Australia and other places in Europe, and of course the so-called third world countries, where they are not using so much genetically modification. They're trying to get away from it, but we are so infested with this problem. And of course, many times they did it to make the food last longer and have a longer shelf life, so that there wouldn't be as much waste. So there's all sorts of issues that play in this concern that we have, because we want to be healthy. We want to get over getting sick and getting made sick by the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food and other things that we consume. And that's a natural concern. It should be a concern for everybody. But of course, people that are just struggling to survive don't even have time many times to worry about such things. And we live in a sad state of affairs, but this is the happy note. We are waking up. And that's critical. That is important for all of us, because as we awaken, changes will have to be made, and it will help us all. Anyway, thank you folks for listening, and namaste.